Welcome back. It's a book so hot that before it was even published, the author sold the movie rights. That is the story behind the smash hit novel, The Woman in the Window. And joining us now is the author, AJ Finn. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
It's really fun to talk to. It feels weird calling you AJ, though, because we know that's not your real name. It's your pen name. So, one, do you talk about your real name during these interviews, or do you prefer to people to call you AJ? And two, why did you go with a pen name for your first novel?
Sure. So to answer your first question, my real name is Daniel, and I'll answer to literally anything. You can call me Sophia if you like. Just try me. Secondly, I worked in publishing until the end of 2017, so just, 8 weeks ago. And so when it came time to submit my novel a couple of years prior to that, I didn't want to do so under my real name for fear that someone might recognize me, and odds were excellent that they would. I wanted them to judge the manuscript on its own, so I elected to go with a pseudonym.
And you have a very high-profile job at a publishing company. You ultimately went with that company, but they didn't know it was you when you submitted it.
No one knew it was me, and eventually, midway through the bidding process, because there was an auction, I outed myself. I wanted the publishers to know what they would be getting into, and happily no one dropped out, which was a relief, and then I ended up selling the book to my employer, so it's worked out very, very neatly.
Neatly would be an understatement, because before its publication, you sold the movie rights as well as foreign rights in multiple countries. It's the most widely acquired debut novel of all time. Stephen King says your novel is unputdownable. That's one heck of a debut novel.
That was quite a thrill. I remember checking my email one day, this was about 6 months ago, and I saw I had a message with the subject heading "From Steve King." And I thought, oh, I think I've got a congressman named Steve King. I bet he's fundraising. No, it was the other Steve King who asked if I wanted a quote. Yes, please.
That's incredible. The premise of the novel is about a woman who's ill. She thinks she's witnessed an horrific crime. Nobody believes her. She also happens to drink a lot. What inspired you to write this story, and how long was that plot in your mind before you wrote it out?
I was inspired by two factors. The first was that one night in my living room in Manhattan, I was watching Rear Window, one of my favorite old films. And in my peripheral vision, I clocked a light. It was my neighbor across the street switching on her living room lamp. And so in accordance with fine Manhattan custom, I spied on her, and she wasn't doing anything particular. You know, you would too.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing anything particularly interesting, just turning on her television. But behind me, on my own TV, I heard Thelma Ritter in Rear Window chiding Jimmy Stewart for spying on his neighbors. And just like that, this idea took root and took shape. And the other consideration, the other factor, was my experience with depression. I've grappled with it my entire adult life, about 17 years now. And I wanted to write a story about a person who herself was struggling with mental health. I wanted to help her overcome those issues. So I put the two together, and that's how this book was born.
And what a book. Real quick, now that the movie rights have been sold, do you have an image of who you want to play the main character, Anna Fox? Do you get to weigh in on the casting?
Fox has been incredibly gracious and accommodating, so they have asked. I genuinely don't have a preference. The movie is being produced by an Oscar winner. It's being written by a Pulitzer winner. So I feel they'll make the right decisions. I just can't wait to see it.
What a trip. Wow. AJ Finn, thank you for joining us, a.k.a. Daniel Mallory. Whoever you want to be called, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And the book's fantastic. I'm halfway through and trying not to read any other reviews because I don't want any spoilers.